customer loads up with dozens of cans of beer. Henderson Brewing is a Toronto-based craft brewing company that began in 2016, producing a wide variety of beers.
This is where we do all our small batch stuff, one-off beers, experimental stuff.
Steve Himmel is the president and co-founder of the company. He says there are a whole host of challenges for brewers when dealing with a perishable product like beer.
One of the hardest decisions any small brewer has to make when you're looking at a tank full of beer, you've got 6,000 liters of beer and it's not right, and you've got to make the decision to pour that down the drain.
On top of already high taxes and supply chain concerns, breweries are facing another potential impact: the threat of 25% tariffs by the US on all Canadian products. Then there's the potential added 25% tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum, as well as the likely counter tariffs by Canada on US goods. The key issue for beer companies: most of the product is sold in aluminum cans.
Today in Canada, over 80% of what we call packaged beer is sold in cans. The threat of these tariffs, and specifically on aluminum, have already impacted costs. So there's a benchmark price of aluminum that has already increased by 50% year to date in 2025.
Although Canada is a major global exporter of raw aluminum, it does not have any rolling mills that produces the sheets used for aluminum cans, meaning aluminum crosses the border back and forth before it is used in a brewery.
The challenge is we already are in an environment where our costs are pretty high for other reasons, and having to push those up even higher, at some point our consumer is going to break.
If imposed, the US tariffs will create yet another headwind for craft breweries across Canada. And there is a genuine fear, especially if the tariffs remain in place for any length of time, that many of the smaller craft breweries may not survive.
The big breweries, which in Canada are owned by multinationals, they have the cushion to ride this out. They're not going to care. For the small beer business, arguably this could be catastrophic.
So these are just staggering numbers, numbers that Canadian brewers, could not even think of absorbing. So we're talking about, significant price increases and huge disruption in the marketplace.
The saying "small beer" is used when describing something as unimportant. For breweries across Canada, the tariff conflict is anything but. Dan Williams, CGTN, Toronto.